Hello. All right, I'm Laban. So I guess we're gonna talk about this cover.
Laban first. How do you pronounce your last name?
Laban Pheidias.
Pheidias.
Pheidias. Yeah.
Gotcha. Good to know.
And this was in. Does you know the year? March of 04. March of 04. And so I didn't know this was going to be a cover, but I was on a trip with Rob Collingson. He was there. That's Kobe in the background. He gets a prop.
Hey, how you doing? Good to see you.
Kobe is an old school skater too. But yeah, so we were in Oregon.
Okay.
We were in, and we were at this place called Port Orford.
Okay.
You know that park?
I have. I know.
Yeah. And what's funny is I just found the footage of this, and if you can scroll back on my Instagram a few posts, and I posted the whole video because I made it for a video part. I think it was on a show called The Captain Casey.
Oh yeah.
And I was making a whole thing, and it was all wet. It was like it had rained, and we had to like clear out the bowl, and with all the water and let it drain and take buckets out. And my brother was there, who did inverts right here, which was pretty cool. But then I don't know if you can tell on this, but I'm wearing a ski mask. I don't know if it was.
Yeah, you can't really tell that.
It was either well, if you look really closely, you see my eyes and my nose.
Okay.
Yeah, and so I'm wearing the ski mask, and I think Rob said, wear this and do a trick or something. And I did a few tricks, but the back Smith just I guess Rob liked the photo. Next thing you know, he had just started Lowcard, so it wasn't that. He was still like photocopying these at like the local store probably.
Right.
And so I don't know how many of these were made. This was early on,
Yeah, these are really hard to find.
And I was super hyped because it's like, whoa, Lowcard, even when it just started, was cool because it was Rob,
Yeah.
And so, that's the story of this. I mean, Rob shot the photo. Port Orford. I haven't been back to Port Orford since then. I think my sister was there and everyone helped. We were like bailing the water out, but I'll have to show you the footage because it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
The only cement in the whole town is at the skate park.
This cover right here, this Transworld cover, does it say the date? June '96.
Yeah.
So this is the Carlsbad. What is this? It's a Carlsbad golf course. I think they called it Cobra. I can't remember. It was a famous gap over the water, and I think it was a golf company.
Okay.
And I had been here. It might have been this day where I went there and kickflipped it, and this might have been surprisingly early in the morning, because we were worried about getting kicked out. And then Grant. I don't think I knew I was going to do I don't even know what you call that. People call it a cell flip, but my legs go the other way. So, but either way, it's like a finger flip.
Yeah.
But the way I would do them is they would kind of like spin, like not flip, but like spin like a whole circle, kind of like that. And I don't know if I knew I was going to do that. But the kickflip was so easy. In fact, I think it was first try. And from what I remember, but I had gone to this spot a few times and did different tricks, so I'm not sure that this was the time. But what I remember is that it was soaking wet up here. It was soaking wet. So the runway, in fact, do you see that right there?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a fountain shooting up water, which had been covering the top of this with water. So I get up there, and we didn't realize that it was going to be a wet runway, which was, starting off your morning with like, okay, a wet runway, a big water gap, not a lot of runway, and it was super slippery. I remember we used some shirts and like tried to like dry it off, but it was still like a slippery situation. And so I think Ted Newsome was the art director already of Transworld. Okay. And so this might have been early on in that period of time. I'm not sure, but I remember we went to like some pool store. We got these funny, ridiculous floaties, and Akko, Akko and Atiba, I think we're kind of newer to the scene.
Yep. Yeah, they moved in 95.
Yeah, so it was awesome having Akko in there. My friend Mike Stevens and Heather and shoot, I forget her name. Sephra, I think. And I can't remember if that was Mikey's friend. Anyways, we just wanted some bodies hanging out there, make it look very like pool party or beach party type of thing. And I didn't usually wear shorts, but I remember I gotta wear like swim trunks, so I wore swim trunks. But yeah, it was. And I think it might have been, you can correct me if I'm wrong because you probably know more than I do, but this might have been the first transfold.
I was just wondering about that.
Gatefold.
Yeah.
Because they didn't do gatefolds.
That was
And so
unique,
I think it was like it was kind of like,
new,
it was
new
a big
territory.
Yeah, it was. I remember it was kind of a big deal at the time to get a gatefold cover.
Yeah.
Which I was pretty hyped on because then the sequence gets to be on it.
Yeah.
Because some people thought that, at the time, that was fake. They didn't. At the time, they didn't like, what? That didn't make sense,
Yeah.
But sure enough, you can tell my landing is pretty crouchy. I just made it and just have to, like, roll away. And you have to, like, dodge another wall. Like, right after you land, there's only about, like, I don't know, 10 feet or so. And then there's literally a wall in front of you. So you have to land and go and carve out to the right or left, or you're going to hit the wall. So the whole thing was a little bit precarious, but
definitely memorable.
it was super fun, and I don't know what made me think of that. I think I'd been doing those over hips or something, because remember Sal Barbia did the raddest cell flips, and so I think I tried to learn them, but I couldn't do them that way, and my feet just went the other way. And back in the launch ramp days, I used to do, X airs, we'd call it, where we would just go like that, and I was like, well, it's kind of the same.
Yeah.
And I kind of spin it under, like between my legs, but yeah, there's no way I could do that now. I should try to do another self flip, just to see if I can do it anywhere.
And Grant shot it.
Grant, he shot a lot of my photos. Honestly, like, I probably went out with Grant shooting more than any other photographer. Like, because Grant always came through. He always had a really good eye. We always kind of clicked, and he could see the bigger picture, so he really brought this, he really captured the moment really well. So it was pretty awesome at a certain time.
Yeah.
But this is Warp Magazine. This was kind of like they were trying to do like lifestyle, all action sports, music. I was just psyched to be on the cover with Paris. This was at the Oceanside High School, Oside High. And there was this like downhill sidewalk to a huge curb cut, and then it landed downhill into the street. And all I'm doing is a 180. I had no idea this was going to be on the cover.
Yeah.
But this curb cut blasted you, but it was at a weird angle. You had to really cut to the left and try to, so you couldn't just go over it this way. And I think there's actually another curb cut here. Yeah, to land in, I think. But yeah, it really blasted you up. So just a 180, but sometimes 180s are pretty fun.
Oh,
Yeah, and so when was this again? 93?
yeah.
93. That's when we were skating the Oside High School a lot.
And that was Grant too.
And that was Grant Brittain as well.
Yep. Cool.
So I think this was in the 2000s though, for sure.
Yeah.
Because if you look, there's a gatefold right here, and
He's on Dogtown.
I'm riding for Dogtown at the time, which I think was in the 2000s.
Yeah.
With Preston Cuff and Wee Man.
Uh-huh.
And so this ledge is at a school right down the street, Echo Park School. So since this was the 2000s, this is this ledge I had to come in from. It's Zombie Apocalypse, by the way, which is very suiting for today's age and time. But this is definitely prior to the current zombie apocalypse we're in. But that's Sippy.
Oh.
You know Sippy?
Yeah.
That's Sippy. That's Jeff King.
Okay.
That's Migdal. He's the owner of Automatic. That's this artist named Spaz.
Okay.
And Ted Newsome. This guy.
Right here, Ted.
Right
shot
there.
That photo.
Shot this photo. And I don't know who did the Photoshop either, but
Your hand's gone.
my hand is gone. So I think that's great. And but yeah, this ledge was actually you had to come in from a drainage cut in grass that came at a weird angle behind here on the other side. So I came in from this side, and then went on this way down, and then dropped to a rough. I don't know if you can't even tell, but that's a rough ass.
Yeah.
That pavement is not smooth, but it was a fun board slide, flat and down, and you couldn't ask for a better. Besides the run up, you couldn't ask for a better,
Yeah, good lead.
Yeah, better ride. It was super fun. Yeah, haven't seen this one in a while. But it did come up recently, somehow. I think we were talking about it. Okay, this is a cover for Big Brother Magazine. It was my first cover for Big Brother Magazine, and it was shot by Mike Ballard. And actually, this is a great story because he shot the whole interview. This went along with, there's a whole interview in here, so there's a bunch more pictures. But I remember Ballard made this. I wanted to be crucified by skateboarding. And so that's kind of how I was thinking. Is like back then it seemed like there was a lot more like, sometimes there was a lot more shit talking in the industry, and it was like, kind of like, sometimes it was like, I don't know, like harsher vibes sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, it's a little windy out here, but so the crown of thorns is made out of grip tape.
Okay.
And obviously the cross is made out of skateboards. The trucks were sawed in half. Now Dave Berthold might have made this, or Ballard, because I know Dave helped as well.
Okay.
And actually, Dave still has the crown of thorns. Ballard might still have the cross. I recently found the actual trucks that I'm crucified with. And
What do you got there?
all right, so I actually have what I was crucified with. I don't have the wheel anymore. On the other one, I think I do have the wheel still on it. But basically, they just go onto your hands like that.
Okay.
So I forget who made this. It might be Dave, might be Ballard. They'll
So
find
then
out.
the wheel hides the wire.
Yeah.
Yeah, or the
The wheel hides the wire, and then
Perfect.
there you go. And you're crucified by a truck. So, yeah, that was pretty fun. And
Did you catch some shit for the Jesus stuff?
well, that's kind of the whole thing. Is like back then you'd catch some shit for like a lot of stuff, including having a cover without without
Skating,
skate.
yeah.
Without skate. So it was one of those things where you kind of knew that, and so the people that were upset. What are you gonna do? You can't.
Yeah.
People are gonna be upset no matter what you do.
Yeah.
So sometimes you just come up with an idea and go for it.
Execute it, yeah.
Execute it. So, yeah, I won't even
Take you a while.
I won't even bring up who was upset about it because I personally don't want to talk shit.
Yeah.
Did
it take you a while to grow that beard?
Oh, back then, my beard grows out pretty quick.
Yeah.
And that beard wasn't even that big of a beard, but
Gotcha.
people used to say, "Oh, it's Charles Manson or Jesus." They would say that, so I just went with the Jesus cover.
And where was it actually shot? Just in
On a
somebody's
roof.
garage? Oh, okay.
It might have been on top of the roof of the old Tracker building.
Okay.
We were just up there. Or it was on top of this old foundation we used to skate on the roof, and we used to do gaps over these holes, these square holes. It was up there somewhere. Because we didn't want anything in the background. We needed to be but yeah, that
Cool.
was a good one. Yeah, a non-skate cover. It's basically my only non-skate cover.
Yeah. Oh, what's the final?
Oh, then this is
one?
another
concept cover.
Another concept. I did a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4 of my are all concept covers. I was like, it was good to have fun,
Yeah.
And so this one, I'm pretty sure Rick
Yeah.
Kosick shot it. This is a Kosick cover, and this was Kosick's idea, I think.
Good.
And he just wanted to pull together. And I think, again, I had this beard, and he was like, oh, he looks like a bum. Jeff had a beard. He looks like a bum. That's what he was going for. Of course, Chris Pontius and Preston Acuff.
Okay.
And that's, I used to ride with Preston on Dogtown. So that was that connection. And then Pontius was always in the scene. Of course, friends with Rick, Jackass, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And but yeah, this is right down the street. There's a fast food diner.
Okay.
And this was like a real bin. It was actually really, like, you know, the oil that they dump out. It was pretty gross. The bins were right around there. It didn't smell good. It was actually pretty bad. And so I don't know if he said, you know, I want you to be on the cover. I don't know. It was just like, hey, we're doing a funny shoot. You know, Kosick had this idea, and we were like, okay, well, and whoever did something maybe.
Yeah.
I can't remember the whole deal, but we just rigged these tires, and we just had a piece of board going up those 2 tires.
Yep.
And then this was open, and so you just have board, 2 tires, and then you can use it as a little ramp. Hit that. This thing was a little hard to come off. You can't really tell, but it's like sticking up,
yeah.
and sometimes it would just grab your tail, so you'd have to just come out like that. But it's always funny, like when you're doing like costume skating, it's always a little harder.
Yeah.
You know, for some reason, I don't know, like it's harder than you think, like just the clothing difference, holding props, and but you just go for it.
Yeah.
You know, and so I don't know what the whole concept was. I hope it's not offensive.
Yeah.
You know, but it was fun. We were just
Doing something different.
doing something and having fun. Anyways,
Fantastic.
second Big Brother cover.
Off the top of your head, can you think of some classic covers that got you stoked as a young skater?
Let's see, off the top of my head. I mean, the covers that stand out are Mario Rubalcaba and the Love Bull. I think it's Todd Swank. Is there a Todd Swank cover?
Well, he's the famous Push cover with Grant.
That one,
Yeah.
That one was just so stylish. The lighting and just and something about just like pushing. It was cool because it was like at the time it's like, how's that a cover pushing? But I was like, no, that's a rad cover.
Yeah.
Big Brother has so many that pop in my mind because they were just absurd and hilarious.
Name 3.
Okay, let's go for Wee Man.
Okay.
That's a great cover. Let's go. Clyde. Clyde's cover was pretty rad, actually. Clyde Singleton's cover was really cool. And I think it wasn't supposed to be him.
It was supposed to be Alyssa.
It was supposed to be Alyssa, and then Alyssa wouldn't do it.
Right. In a
And
dress.
So then Clyde just jumped on there, and it was awesome.
Yeah.